a place doesn't mean that you belong to that place. Being born in a poor family doesn't mean that you are born to be poor. That is the starting point. If you want to move forward, know where you are and what brought you there. All right. Let me have one person standing over there, and the other two, you can come over here. All right. God is never in a position where He forces you to make decisions. He is not in a position to force anyone to make a decision or to make choices. Our choices are independent from God's control. God does not manipulate us. He doesn't force us into making choices. All that He does, if He wants you to go for the right thing and for you to choose the best for you, He simply encourages you. He prompts you. He motivates you to make the right decision, but He doesn't force you. He encourages you. He might advise you. He whispers to you. There are promptings of the Holy Spirit that will come into your spirit that will lead you into making the right decision. But God will never force you to make whether a good decision or a bad decision. It is entirely up to the free will that is already given to you by God. You have the power to choose. And what God has predestined is the outcome, the end result of what you have willingly chosen. That's what God has predetermined. The outcome, the end result, the consequences of your choice. But it is never your choice that is predestined by God. It is what you get after willingly choosing anything. So maybe I might be using him in a good sense, and I don't want to use you in a bad sense, so you can sit down. So I will use, because I want, okay, you can sit down, because I want to have the devil here. So it won't be nice to have one of us as the devil. All right, but you have to know that there is a devil standing over there, and we have God over here. And this is the man that is born out of the will of God. You cannot be born unless God wills. Every person that is born, it is exactly according to the plan of God. You are supposed to be born. That's why you were born. There is no mistake about it. No matter how you came, no matter how you were born, it was designed by God for you to be here. So this man, he is born, but what you need to understand is that when this man is born, the day that he was born, he wasn't just born from a place, he is born into another place. He is coming from a place into another place. He's coming from somewhere into somewhere. He's coming from a place into another place. So we are waiting here on the other side, ready to receive him into a different environment compared to where he is coming from. So whether you are born in a poor family, you need to understand that the fact that you are born there doesn't mean that you belong there. That's what I said on Sunday. Being born in a place doesn't mean that you belong to that place. You can be born in the forest, but you don't belong in the forest. So being born in a poor family doesn't mean that you are born to be poor. And the people that you find there that are already poor, that were poor even before you were born, it is because they chose to be there, willingly or unwillingly, but they chose to be where they are. And that's the only way you can come out of your situation, when you begin to understand that I am where I am because of the choices that I made in the past. That is the starting point. If you want to move forward, know where you are and what brought you there, and accept responsibility. We'll get into that when we begin to talk about laws of success very soon. But understand, appreciate that I am where I am today because of the choices that I've made. And I said something on Sunday, which I know maybe some of you didn't get it. I said there are certain places that when you choose them, you choose certain experiences and you choose what you will go through. What you will go through will be determined by the places that you choose. Certain benefits that other people are getting because they are in South Africa, you can't get them because you are here. Certain benefits that people are getting because they are in the UK, you can't get those when you are here. So a place that you choose will determine what you get. So by choosing a place, you have actually chosen what you are also going to get. And I told you that Lot did not choose to be kidnapped like he was kidnapped. You know he was kidnapped, right? Yes, he didn't choose that. But what he chose was a place which was in the plan of the devil. That's the place that he chose. The enemy had a plan to besiege, to attack that particular city. And it so happened that that's the exact city that also Lot chose. Choosing a place, technically, he also chose to be kidnapped. But if you ask him, did you choose that? He will say to you, I didn't choose that. I only chose the place. So certain things that we choose, there is much that is involved in those things that we choose. And most of us, we make those choices because we are not aware of what is contained within our choices. So you simply choose because you can't see beyond. You choose certain people simply because of maybe 5% of the person that you see and that you appreciate. But there is the 95% of the person that you can't see because you don't have the eyes that can see the 95%. But simply because of the little that you can appreciate, you end up choosing certain people into your life. And then to realize later on that a bigger fraction of that person is not as good as you thought. But this is after you have already made a choice. But now what I'm saying is, there is not even one person under the sun who will say to you, yes, I'm poor because I've chosen to be poor. Not even one person. Not even one person. Everyone will tell you, I don't want to be where I am. I want things to be okay, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But somehow, there are choices that we are doing on a daily basis that are confirming our position. Choices that we are doing, we are taking every day that are still confirming where we are. So, God is in control. Yes, but to a certain extent. God is in charge, but to a certain extent. There are things that God cannot do. Like he says in the word, surely the Lord cannot do anything unless he reveals it to his servants, the prophets. God cannot. It means that, take it as it is, God cannot, he cannot do anything. He cannot do anything unless what he wants to do is revealed to somebody, which means somebody who has been given dominion over the earth has to be consulted, even by God, before he does anything. So there is a person here who is in charge. Isn't it amazing that God himself, he is admitting to you that I cannot do certain things unless you are told, and unless you give me permission. It's not because God is weak. It is because he's too powerful. It's a sign that he is strong. He doesn't hesitate to delegate authority. It's a sign of authority, not weakness. It's a sign of authority. He's too powerful. Too powerful not to want to do it alone. Too powerful to a level where he's not afraid of distributing some of his authority to his creatures. He's very comfortable with his position. He knows that you can't take him out of his place. He's very comfortable. Not because he's weak, but because he's powerful. So now, this man is born into an environment which is either good or bad. But there is a moment in his life where this man is given an opportunity by God. The same God that created him will also give him an opportunity to make a choice, either to continue in that problem or to walk out of that problem. There is an opportunity that has to follow. Realizing that you are in a bad situation, you can make a choice. Because it's impossible for you to know. You can't tell me that where I am is a wrong place if you are not able to see the right place. Admitting that where I am is a wrong place, it's a sure sign that you have access, you can see the other place. Because without that comparison, there is no way you can tell. If you feel that you have pain and you know it's not right for me to be going through what I'm going through, it's a sure sign that there is the other side where there is no pain and you are aware of it. Something can be done about your situation, about your state. And you can do something about it. This man here, look at so many things that he has been able to change. Look at so many things, so many things. Let's say this man is sick. If he is sick, already we have places that we have built just for that, called hospitals. We have clinics. Which means when he feels pain, there is a place already set aside for that particular purpose. Which means if you go through pain, you have to know that there is a place provided already that deals with that condition. So going to the hospital, it's a choice. You are making a decision to get rid of your situation. What you are going through can be corrected in a certain place. So visiting that place, you are actually acknowledging that something can be done against your condition. So your condition, which is called pain, has a place which is called the clinic, which you have to choose to visit to get rid of your condition. Even when you get there and they are treating you and the treatment is not successful, still you have to choose the outcome. It's just that you went to that place because you were told that there is healing in that place. So when you get to that place and there is no more healing in that place, it means you have to die. And ultimately, the reason why you have to die is because you are not aware of another place where life can be given again. Now, a child of God, when you leave this physical body, you'll know it. You'll know that now my spirit is now leaving the body. You will know it. Especially you will know it. You will know it. So people that are sick, they are rushed to the hospital. But people that are dead, they are rushed to the graveyard. People that are sick to the hospital, those that are dead in the hospital, they are taken from the hospital into the grave. Because after the hospital, there is no any other provided place that can correct the death situation. So you see, when we talk of Jesus, we are talking of the ultimate now. Even after the hospital, he comes after that. Because he is the resurrection and he is the life. So Jesus becomes the place. Because there are so many things that even when you used to believe in doctors so much, there comes a time in life when these people will tell you there is nothing that we can do about your condition. They will tell you honestly, sir, we have tried everything within our ability and within our knowledge, but it has gone beyond. All that you can do now is to go back home, get some rest, and just wait until you die. They will tell you that. But from that place now, which other place do you visit, which is beyond the hospital? So I've given you one situation here. This is sickness in his body, and there is a place. So he has to make a decision. I want to go there and get treated. So it's a place waiting for a person like him to come. And then when the disease is taken away out of your body, it was because you made a choice. I gave this example, I think it was in South Africa, that many people, of course, maybe you might not have chosen to be sick, but you can choose to remain sick. It was after I prayed for another man who was terribly sick, very, very sick, and he started screaming from Norway. I said, come. We looked at the papers, at the doctor's report. The man was gone. It was as good as he was dead. All that he could do was just to make that noise. That's it. He said, I'm going to use the last breath that I have to get attention from the man of God. And then I looked at him. It was as if the man was already gone. Looking at the reports, the doctors already they had said, there is nothing more we can do. So we ministered healing, and the man recovered there and there. You see, we saw him 2 days later. You couldn't believe it. You couldn't believe it. I said to our guys, are you sure this is the same person? As if I didn't know. Is this the same person? They said, this is the same person. But it was all because he made a choice. Maybe he didn't choose to be sick, but he chose to be healed. So some of you, you are waiting until God decides. Because you're not aware that he has already decided. What is left now on you is for you to make a decision that God has already decided. If you are going to wait until he decides, if you are going to wait until he decides, Jesus, God, until he decides, you're going to be waiting forever because he has already decided. You wait and wait and wait for him to decide. He will never decide because he has already decided to bless you, to heal you, to set you free. That's why you see Jesus was on a mission, going to a place where he has decided, he has already decided to go and raise the dead. He had not, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. Already he had decided to heal the woman that had an issue of blood. But he wasn't on his way to that woman's house. It was left now unto the woman to decide. That day she said, if only I can touch the hem of his garment, if only I can touch. It was now her deciding when she wanted it to happen. It was her deciding whether to continue until she gets up to 13 years, 14 years, 15 years. It was up to her. Maybe she never decided, she never chose to be sick. But you can choose to be well. Maybe you didn't choose to be poor, but you can choose to remain poor.